It is Goji time once again, folks. And I'm back at you today with a double review. And this is a good one, man. This is one from one of my most favorite Godzilla movies of all time, Godzilla versus King Ghidorah from 1991. And this right here is the Hiya Exquisite Basic Series, Godzilla 1991 Hokkaido Battle version, and King Ghidorah 1991. So we're going to do this as a double review because these guys are from the same movie. One of the best Godzilla movies of all time. And I'm happy to have this. So let's get going. We're going to start with Godzilla. Okay, I really love this box. I love the coloring of it. I love the classic feel to it. It looks like 1991 style, basically. I love the picture of the figure on the front here. And just in general, the color of it. I love the way the Godzilla versus King Ghidorah in Japanese just pops from the box. It's really very nice. You have Godzilla 1991 Hokkaido Battle version on top. On the side here, Godzilla 1991 Hokkaido Battle version with a picture of the figure. On this side, you're going to get same thing with Godzilla's foot. Picture of Godzilla's foot. I love that. That's definitely different. Nice stomping foot. And then you're going to get a nice picture of the figure on the back. Godzilla versus King Ghidorah in Japanese. Same thing on the bottom. So, cool box. It's like gray and brown with the red and orange and yellow just popping from it. And, you know, Hiya always gives nice boxes. You know what I mean? They're simple in nature, Hiya's boxes, but they're effective. And this is very nice. So let's open it up and see what we got. Okay, so just to show you the entire packaging like I always do, we got the Hiya style clamshell here with the figure. And you're going to get two, it looks like closed fist hands. We'll take a look at them further. Or maybe they're just... maybe they're open, but not as much as the ones on them. So we'll see. But yeah, there's the Goj. Hokkaido Goj. And you know, I reviewed the Shinjuku SH Monster Arts Godzilla, but man, was I pumped when I saw Hiya was releasing this, because I do like the Hokkaido landing version of the 91 Godzilla better. It's like more rougher and tougher and bulkier. Yeah, shout out, by the way, to ZillaFan85. What up, man? I know you're going to appreciate this review, brother. Godzilla versus King Ghidorah. We both are fans of the 1991 Godzilla, the Hokkaido version. So the Shinjuku and the Hokkaido are two different suits. They're the two suits from Godzilla versus Biollante in 1989 that they just modified. So, but I do prefer this one, the Hokkaido landing version, the Hokkaido battle version we have here. All right, so let's get them out of the clammy and see what we got. Let's get that plastic crunch going. Yeah. Wow. Love to hear that. Shout out to God's Box. I like hearing the plastic crunch. Man. All right. This is nice right off the bat. So, all right, let's see. Okay, so here we have this beautiful figure out here. Now, this figure has definitely gotten a lot of praise. I watched a bunch of reviews on it. Shout out to Shinrob Jira. That was the most recent review that I watched on this. And I'll tell you what, when you said that you didn't like the movie, I shed a tear, you know? When you said that this design was in your top 20, damn, man, you broke my heart, Fredo. Because for me, this is one of my top Godzilla movies of all time and top 5 designs of Godzilla of all time. I just love the Hokkaido battle version. And this thing straight away is looking very nice. There was some controversy with the head at first. People didn't like the original head, so then Hiya resculpted it and sent it out with the extra head and blah, blah, blah. I think this is a newer release where it does actually have the new head on it. So whatever. I don't know if it's the new or old. I'm pretty sure it's the new one anyway. You know, from the reviews I've seen, there really wasn't much wrong with the old head. So, but I think this is an updated latter release where this is now the new head. But yeah, I love the screen accuracy of this. I love the thick thighs, the barrel chest. You know, this Godzilla, and you know, of course, the picture on the front of the box is known for a big barrel chest, a big beefy neck, big thighs. This was a big, rough and tough, brolic Godzilla. That's why I like this Godzilla design. When you see this Godzilla, you know that the boss is coming. You know what I'm saying? And that's like, you know, what he gave off when you see him in the film. And yeah, this is really, really nice. I'd like to talk about Godzilla versus King Ghidorah. You know, rather than just make it about this figure and, you know, jerking off every ball joint, I like to talk about the movies that the figures are from. You know, because the truth is, that's what really led us to getting these figures and becoming figure collectors to begin with, is the movies that these are based on, you know? So, and plus I think that's cool, you know? Once again, shout out to ZillaFan85, because he does that, you know? He talks about the film, he gives you a history lesson, as well as talking about the details of the figure, so, you know, and with ZillaFan85, like I said, we share this in common. We both really like the 91 Godzilla. So let me tell you this, ZillaFan85, this one is worth shelling out some dough for. You're going to like it. I recommend you grabbing it, and I'd love to perhaps see your review on it in the future, because, boy, it's nice, you know. And it looked nice ever since Hiya put out the pictures of it. So this is one I was waiting for quite some time. And yeah, it looks great. The paint job looks solid. You know, it looks fairly standard on the dorsal plates, you know what I mean? Like, and they do go to the tip of the tail here. But it's, you know, like nothing out of the ordinary. It kind of looks almost like NECA style paint job on the dorsal plates, which is nothing wrong with it. The dorsal plates look great, you know. But what I'm seeing here, obviously, is like a less is more, you know, where this is just, seems like, you know, bare bones, basic paint job. But it looks very good, though. It's good. It's solid. Which is nice, too, because it's not really like a stylistic approach. It's they're giving you exactly what it was. And it looks really nice. I'm digging the paint on the toenails and claws here. Yeah, they're a really nice, like, yellowish bone color with some brown mixed in here, you could see. Yeah, the paint is very well done on the nails, so that's a highlight right there. Face is looking good so far. The eyes look good. I think there was a problem with the old eyes. I don't know. But anyway, you could see the brow, you could see the kind of pointy head, which is what this figure is known for. I love the detail on the top of the head here. And we're going to explore the teeth when we open up the mouth. But obviously here, we've seen in a lot of the videos for this that this seems to have a quality tail, quality articulation. And the figure's been given a lot of praise. And I'll tell you straight away, just straight up out of the box, with just looking at it, without even posing it and really getting into it, It looks very nice. So, but let's pose this sucker. And as I pose him, I'm going to dive into Godzilla versus King Ghidorah and talk about the movie. So let's go. All right. Godzilla versus King Ghidorah is a wild, wild ride. Unlike Shinra, sorry, Rob, man. I love this movie, man. To me, this movie had it all. It's fun. It's entertaining. It's got a great story. It's got one of the most brolic Godzilla designs there is. One of the roughest, toughest Godzillas. It's got his biggest rival in King Ghidorah. And I love it. It's one of my top Godzilla movies. I would go so far as to say that a lot of the movies that came after it, maybe even, the American legendary pictures, owe a lot of thanks to Godzilla versus King Ghidorah, or at least give the nod to it with some of the things that they do, We had the dinosaur origin story of Godzilla. We had robots. We had people coming from the future to change the past. This movie gave us everything, And this right here is the pose that he's in during the Hokkaido landing scene when the reporter compares him to the picture of the dinosaur, And that's how it basically starts, with an old man going to the museum, scaring the hell out of some mothers and kids, talking about the dinosaurs are going to come back. Reporter goes to see him at the sushi bar he works at, and he starts telling him how his the troop platoon in World War II saw a dinosaur, So the reporter, basically gets the information for his story from the old guy. And that's how the movie kicks off, And of course, the dinosaur is Godzilla. People from the future come and they go back to the past to erase Godzilla and replace him with King Ghidorah. And wow, I love those scenes. I love the scene when they go back in time and they show, the dinosaur version of Godzilla fighting the troops, basically. And and then, that dinosaur, of course, turns into this Godzilla. And I love it. I love the movie. I love the design. And so far, this figure is pretty much hitting on all cylinders here. I got the tail bent in a nice curve. Awesome, man. This is cool. And, I wanted to make it a double review with King Ghidorah, obviously, because King Ghidorah was so important to the movie. You know what I mean? And that's basically where Godzilla's going to battle King Ghidorah. And so, I needed King Ghidorah as well, So let's continue. Let's pose this guy some. All right, so straight away, this figure's just performing. So first of all, the articulation is buttery smooth on this thing. And this is just the first pose that I put this thing in. But the leg articulation, the curvature of the tail, what you could get the tail to do, and the arms and the neck and head articulation and the nice crunch you could get at the waist. Beautiful, man. It allows for a really cool action pose like this where he looks like he's in motion, turning to the side. Man, everything about this, the leg articulation is great. The foot, from the foot to the knee to the thigh, really allows the legs to move nicely and get some good poses. It's sturdy with these big, thick thighs right here. The leg articulation is very sturdy, and you got some really cool articulation on the tail because, that's a nice curvature. And I know that the tail can do some cool stuff because I watched a bunch of reviews. The neck functionality is awesome here. As you see these pieces set into each other, there's no real gaps. It looks nice and it flows and functions nice, where you could go up or down, get some nice side to side movement on the head. Straight away, excellent articulation from just the first pose. So let's continue posing. Okay, we can achieve a really nice foot stomping pose here. Excellent. So this works great. This is a very sturdy figure. You know, the tail helps and the feet help with very, very nice balance here. Obviously, look at what this tail is doing. It's just curving in all kinds of crazy ways. Awesome. The arm articulation is really nice as well. Just allows for you to do some cool things with his arms. And you're going to get some nice, not as much knee bend as you may have wanted, but enough to put Godzilla in a very, very good looking foot stomping pose. It would be nice if it went just a little higher, but whatever. That's neither here nor there. You know what I mean? It's the functionality of it is great. You know, the way the articulation works so far is beautiful. All right, so you could get Godzilla into like a really nice lurching tail off the ground pose like this. And look at what that tail does, man. Wow, look at that. Looks like a scorpion's tail. Awesome functionality on the tail here. This is a quality tail. Really, really allows you. It bends and holds the curve, you know. It holds it. And wow, that's a nice pose. And these feet really help. This is a very balanced figure. Look at that. That's super cool. Okay, now that's fantastic. That's about as high up as you could get him to look, which is really nice. You could have him so that he's basically looking into the sky. It's as high as the tail goes to. Oh, man, that's nice. I'll show you a closer look at the mouth. The teeth are really well done here. I love the color of the teeth. That bone color is beautiful, man. Very, very nice. Tongue looks good. Nice pink tongue. And the eyes are nice as well. See that there. Yeah. Yeah, this is a fairly well done head sculpt. The teeth are really on point. Honestly, that's a highlight for sure. But yeah, that's the functionality of how high you could get them to look, which is really cool. Okay, and this is about how wide you could get them as far as the arms and legs are concerned. Pretty much a T shape right there. But that's pretty cool as well. I love that. And look at that tail, man. What you can do with it. Sick. This articulation is really nice on this figure. Soft. Love it. And this is what you're pretty much going to get for a swimming pose. You know, not the greatest, but not terrible either. You know what I mean? Yeah. You know, the head doesn't look straight away, but close enough. The tail can go kind of straight, but there's gaps when it does. But that's okay. Okay, you could get this Godzilla into a pretty nice running pose. Even though he wasn't necessarily a runner, this was a plodding type of Godzilla. He was strong, big, bulky Godzilla. You know, you don't think of him as an agile runner, but you could put him into a nice running pose. Although when you move the arm back, you get that weird little gap right there, which I don't like. It kind of, I don't know. I'm not crazy about that you even see that, but it's there. So just to let you know. But you could get him into a running pose if you want, and it looks pretty decent. Okay, now this I really love. This is how far down you can get him to look. And you could see how much, we got some really nice crunch on this figure. You know, you could really crunch him at the waist. The way the neck works really helps in that area as well to give him a fantastic crunch. And the part that I like about it is there's not too much gappage in the dorsal plates where it doesn't look weird back there. So that's a nice touch, you know, where you could actually, the dorsal plates look pretty good when you got them crunched all the way down like that. And this tail, fantastic, man. MVP of the figure for sure. But that's a cool pose. And you got some really nice turn at the waist as well. And with the neck, to put him in a pose like that. And look how beautiful that tail is. But yeah, that's a nice turn at the waist too. And still, you know, the dorsal plates are not that bad when you got them turned all the way to the side like that, you know. That looks kind of dope. And I just want to show you how serious this tail is, man. Look at that functionality. Wow. This is one of the best tails I've seen on a Godzilla figure in quite some time, man. Kudos to Hiya. You know, this is what you want a figure's articulation to be, basically. You know, it's smooth, it's buttery soft, and it allows for some crazy poses. Okay, so now I just want to show you the other hands that come with this. More of a closed claw or a gripping claw, you could see here. And yeah, the claws are done very, very nicely on this figure, as you could see. Look at the paint on the fingernails. And I like these gripping claws. They're kind of nice. They're definitely spookier than the other ones. But nice to have a accessory, whatever it is, anyhow. But both sets of hands on this figure are well done. Okay, so just to wrap up the Godzilla part of this double review, folks, this right here is a 5-star figure. It's great. It's great from the look of it to the paint job to the articulation. It performs, you know, and just this A++ tail. Yeah, we got screen accuracy, we got articulation. We got a fairly decent price on this too. It's not totally expensive, you know. This definitely has bang for its buck. It's worth what you pay for it, and then some. You know, and it's got a couple very minor flaws, which I pointed out in this video, but that every figure does, and that doesn't really, the flaws don't take away from it being a phenomenal figure. So I think if you like what you see, go out there and get you some Hokkaido Battle version Goji. You won't be disappointed, believe me. Let's move on to King Ghidorah now. Now, just to show you a comparison here, this is the 91 SH Monster Arts Shinjuku version. And you can see it's a flatter head. The Hokkaido had a pointier head. That was one of the differences. And they also bulked up the chest on the Hokkaido. So those are the two differences from the two versions of the suits from Godzilla vs. Biollante. They wound up becoming the two different versions of the suits from Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah. Alright, so now we got this big, massive box for King Ghidorah. Hell yeah. And now, I'll tell you right now, Hiya does quality boxes. Got the wing here, like you had the leg for Godzilla. Very nice picture of the figure on the back. Picture of the figure on the side. And Godzilla versus King Ghidorah on top. And the same red, yellow, and orange lettering for Godzilla versus King Ghidorah. Beautiful picture of the figure on the front. Really conveys King Ghidorah flying. Awesome, man. Right, let's get him out of there. Okay, so now just to give you a show of the whole packaging here, we got the Hiya clamshell with just a massive King Ghidorah, who already has his tail on. Wow, that's different. Usually I break my balls to get King Ghidorah's tail on one of the figures. He's one of the hardest ones. I'm always in there in the bathroom with the blow dryer with King Ghidorah trying to get his tail on. You don't have to do it here. Kudos to Hiya for that one, but let's get him out of that clammy. 91 Godzilla versus King Ghidorah from Hiya right here. Dope, man. They crushed it. Okay, so very impressive, straight out of the box. Tail comes on the figure, which you normally don't see. That's awesome. You usually gotta struggle and put elbow grease into putting King Ghidorah's tail on. Like I said, I'm usually in my bathroom with the blow dryer trying to get his tail on. My girlfriend's in the bathroom right now cleaning the mirror, which normally I would be in there putting King Ghidorah's tail on with the blow dryer. So I definitely appreciate that the tail came on the figure. The color on this is correct too. It's not too gold. It's more along, you know, like that goldish bronze look of the 91 King Ghidorah. The look, the screen accuracy is pretty much spot on here. And it's just very impressive looking. And he can stand on his own. You don't need a stand like it normally comes with. This doesn't even have a stand, so that tells you right there that the figure's got good balance and can stand on its own. Okay, so you do still need the balance of the tail to get this thing to stand up straight. You know, because King Ghidorah is always top heavy. So but you do get articulation in the legs, and the tail helps you balance it to get it to stand correctly. And you get some movement right there at the chest area, which can turn side to side. You get some very nice articulation in the necks, which lets you pose King Ghidorah's three heads any which way you want it to. The wings go up and down. This is what they look like pretty much all the way up. This looks very, very nice. And as you can see, the sculpt on the heads is really, really amazing. The eyes, the teeth, his horns on his head, and the underside of the neck are done very well. The detail on this figure is really, really amazing. It's a very nice 91 Heisei Ghidorah. You know what I mean? That's the bottom line. Beautiful looking figure. Okay, so we see we got good articulation, so you could have King Ghidorah in a walking or running pose, and the necks move all the way down like that, so you could have him basically lurching forward. And the tails bend, you know, quite nicely in different directions. They don't necessarily hold every pose that you want them to go in, but they're still fairly good. I mean, they're articulated well, and there's no gaps. And they certainly bend in certain ways, but see, it's holding it right now, but it doesn't hold it in every single pose, but it holds it pretty good like that. And that's really nice looking, in my opinion. This is one of the nicest good. I don't have that many King Ghidorahs because he's huge, but this is one of the nicest Ghidorahs, in my opinion, just for the impressiveness of the looks, the articulation on it, and the paint job and the sculpt. It really is very screen accurate. Okay, see, you could bring the wings all the way down like that, and you could have them look, you know, pretty far down. I like that. You have these necks have great articulation, so you could pretty much do whatever you want as far as how you want to pose King Ghidorah. The mouth is excellent. You can see the teeth are very well done. The inside of the mouth is a nice color. And the eyes are very well done on this figure. Love the paintwork on the eyes. Yeah, that's fantastic. Yeah, kudos to Hiya, because this is another quality figure. Their 91s might be their best figures. Might be the best ones they released on Godzilla and King Ghidorah. This right here is about as high up as you could get them. From the wings to the tail to the head and neck. You could really be making them look up into the sky. Excellent figure, man. Yeah, like I said, I don't have too many King Ghidorahs because they take up a lot of space. But I'm certainly glad I have this one. Okay, so that's going to wrap it up for this double review. I highly recommend both of these figures. If you love this movie, this is a must-own. Definitely get this Zilla Fan 85. I know you want it. And, yeah, this is just one of the most quality 1991 Godzillas and King Ghidorahs out there. So if you collect and you like this Heisei era of Godzilla, these are two figures that are must-owns. All right, if you like what you see, like the goddamn video. Subscribe to my channel. Peace.